Before I touch upon the issue of the pandemic and the current situation, I would like to point out that India was facing an economic crisis even before the first coronavirus cases were identified. Demonetization and hasty and flawed GST were amongst its main causes. The economic downturn began in 2017-18. 7 quarters of declining GDP growth was no ordinary event. It was unprecedented. Yet the government carried on with its policies and incompetent governance. The initial optimism of the Prime Minister that the war against the virus would conclude in 21 days has turned out to be misplaced. It seems that the virus is here to stay until a vaccine is found. I am also of the view that the government was uncertain about the criteria for lockdowns, and nor does it seem to have an exit strategy. Successive lockdowns have yielded diminishing results. The government also stumbled badly on the testing strategy and the import of test kits. Meanwhile, the pandemic continues. The economy, as we all know, has been gravely crippled. Every economist of the repute had advised an immediate need for a massive fiscal stimulus. The Prime Minister announcement on May 12 of a grand 20 lakh crore package and the Finance Minister spelling out its details over the next 5 days have turned out to be almost a cruel joke on the country. The defining image of the pandemic has been the lack of migrant workers, many with children, many elders, walking hundreds of kilometers without money, without food or medicine, desperate to reach their home states. Apart from the plight of the migrants, those who have been cruelly ignored include the 13 crore families in the bottom half of the population, namely the tenant farmers and the landless agricultural workers, the laid off or retrenched workers and employees, the shopkeepers and the self-employed, MSMEs, and organized industry, including the large businesses, all of them that drive our country's growth. Many of us like-minded parties had demanded that cash must be transferred to the poor, that free grain must be distributed to all families, that buses and trains must be arranged for the migrant workers to go back to their homes. We also emphasized that wage assistance and wage protection funds must be set up to protect the employees and the employers. Our pleas, sadly, seem to have fallen on deaf ears. And I'm afraid there is not even a pretense of consultation with stakeholders or debate in Parliament. We deplore these unilateral moves. A number of renowned economists are predicting that 2021 will end with negative growth of up to -5%. If this happens, the consequences are likely to be catastrophic. That the present government has no solution is very worrying, but that it has no empathy, no compassion for the poor and vulnerable is indeed heartbreaking. The government has also abandoned any pretense of being democratic. All power is now concentrated in the office of the PMO. The spirit of federalism, which is an integral part of our constitution, is all but forgotten. There is no indication either of the two houses of parliament or the standing committees that they will be summoned to meet. It is our duty as opposition to offer constructive criticism and suggestion and be the voice of the people. It is in that spirit that we are all meeting here today. And I would end by requesting each one of you to put forward your considered views. Thank you.